Welcome back to Two T's and a Fee, talk show dedicated to improving the quality of your life. So please subscribe,
like, and share.
And send us a comment. We like comments, right?
Yes, tell your friends as well. And we're here to free yourself. Free yourself.
Free yourselves. Well, today's topic, ladies, is what is your relationship with your younger self? Are you mad at he or she for some of the decisions they made?
No, I'm not mad at him.
I'm just saying, we might have men, Trace.
I know. It's called a joke.
I was like, no,
I'm still stuck
Trace.
like that.
I was like, no, Trace. So are you still mad? Are you mad at all with he or she, or do you feel sorry for he or she for some of the things that they went through? So it was a post on Facebook on one of them groups I'm on Facebook, I don't remember. And that was the question they posed, what would you go back and tell your younger self? And it was some of the typical answer, don't let nobody bring you down, keep your head up and all those other kind of things.
Right.
But so me being the nerd, I went and did some looked up articles on it, and there were a lot of articles. And in Huff Post had 52 things I wish I could tell my younger self. And two or three of the ones I liked, it said that they would tell her that life is good, not always, but mostly. And when it's not so good, be assured that it will get better. And there was one in here that said, well, you really don't want to know the future because the things that you went through made you the person that you are when you get older, that it's going to make you better.
Right.
So you really don't want to know the future, and accept yourself as God made you. But they had 52 of them, and I'm not going through all 52. But what about you, Trace? What are some of the few things you would tell your younger self as you think back to your story, to your journey, the confident woman you are now, and the things you've gone through, and things you know about life, and different things? What would you tell that young girl that didn't have all that experience? Or maybe was confused about things because I know I was at 20, I thought I knew everything. I ain't know nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing. So what would you tell her?
I don't know. I really need to think about that question.
Are you guys thinking? It's a tough one, huh?
I hope so, because
It is a tough one.
I don't know.
Because, we all have our stories. We all have our journeys. And now I'm sitting here at 47. I moved from Texas to New Jersey at 27. I had my son at 26. And I remember when I moved here, moving from Texas to New Jersey by myself, with no family, and I had a baby that my mama wouldn't let me bring because she said I don't know nothing about kids. So, I had to go through all that. I had a new job, a new career. I had just finished school. I don't know if I was scared. I was excited about leaving home and making my own mark, but some of the stuff I did and thought and just, I think I would have told her, girl, it's okay not to have arrived at 27. It's okay that you're not perfect and have, this life and all these different things. It's okay.
Right.
Because you have a journey to go. As I sit here 20 years later. And enjoy the journey.
Right.
I remember one thing my mom used to tell me when she retired. She was like, now, she said, I just get up in the morning, I enjoy life. As opposed to when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s and even some of my earlier 50s, she said, I was so busy living life. I was so busy trying to get there. I was so busy trying to get through the journey. But now that I can sit back and reflect on my journey and enjoy my life, she said, I really like where I am in my life. I was like, ooh, Sue, girl. I think I was in my 30s at that time. I can't wait to get there because this shit I'm going through right now. Because I got divorced at 35 and I was still up here by myself and I had 2 children at that time, so no family support, no any of that. I wish I could go back and talk to her That 35-year-old woman that was going through the divorce, all the pain, the hurt, and feeling abandoned, feeling unclear or unsure of my next step. I didn't like that at all.
Right.
I didn't like that. I wish I could go back and talk to her and say, don't stress so much. Don't try to force to get to the next step or get over this hump or get through the pain. And I would just, I ain't saying enjoy it because the shit didn't feel good at all.
Right.
But then if I go back further, child, I don't even know what to tell my 10-year-old self. My parents went through a divorce. It was me and my sister. My dad was an alcoholic. How you tell a 10-year-old it's gonna be all right?
And they understand.
And they understand.
Is that what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. But it's probably good to hear. I think it's like watering the seed. It's like a watering or a planting.
Yeah.
Because we plant all the time in our kids, and then 10 years later, you'd be like, oh my God, they was listening, because they do something that reflects something you said, and you'd be like, oh, child, that got in. So that's another testament. Speak life into
your children.
Those children now, because again, you may not see the results of it, but you'll see the residual of it later on, because they can hear you and they soak in. We soak in.
Well, even my 26-year-old self, when I first had my child, y'all ain't know nothing about babies. It was difficult, and I had like 5 aunts. I'm like, you heifers didn't prepare me for this. Y'all didn't tell me that this was gonna be so hard. You didn't tell me. I had this little new baby. What the hell am I supposed to do with that? I remember looking at me and his father looking at each other like, they gonna send us home with a baby? Do they know what they doing?
So you was nervous?
Scared as hell. Girl, I don't know about a baby. I was in my last year of law school. I didn't know my future. I didn't know where I was going to get a job. I still have to study for the bar. How am I going to do that? And then I didn't want to be with him. That's another thing. So I was just like, and then I had this brand new baby. I'm like, I don't know how to feed him. I don't know what I'm supposed to, how many times I'm supposed to feed him? Damn, why won't he fucking go to sleep? So, and then I'm trying to skid. I'm like, I got to, I need to study. I need, I want to graduate now. I need to walk around the state. It was, I wish I could talk to her. Like, chill out, chick.
Right, because you did it.
Chill out.
Because you did it.
It's other people have done it. And now that I'm 47, I tell myself that other people have done it. You could do it too.
Right. Shit, you did it. Did it.
Do it too.
It's been done.
Yes.
Them boys is grown. The bar is over, and she's an attorney.
Yes.
A real one.
That's something. And made it through life. Just through life things, you are going to make it.
Yep.
It's hard sometimes, but you are going to make it.
And you definitely don't know it in these stages. That's why they are stages. Still thinking? All right, well, I guess
you
talking.
Know her, don't you? You know her, the 20-year-old Tracy. You know her. You don't know her? You didn't know 20-year-old Tracy? You still don't know her?
Well, this is a
But
quiet
it's you.
space.
But it's you.
No, that was somebody else.
Oh, okay. I can accept that. I can accept that.
I'm somebody different now.
I can accept that.
What I would tell that person, I don't know. The only thing I could think of is I would tell not just the 20-year-old, but even younger, that not to listen to what other people think you should do. Because I'm sorry I went into IT. And I think I should have stayed with the animals, even though I probably would have brought home every animal. But
A farm and her crib.
yeah, I probably should have did that, because that's something that I love to do, that I wanted to do. Or even sticking with the art, because when my mother passed away, because I used to bake, I used to draw, because she did those things. And me and my mom were real close. And when she passed away, a lot of people didn't understand it, and I could care less. But they couldn't understand that I lost my, can't think of the word, but it's not my ability to cook, or bake, I should say, or draw, but I lost the love of doing those things. And even when I had my son, I still didn't get them back. Like I did stuff, but it wasn't the same. Like I used to draw pictures for my son to color, because my mom did that for me. And a little bit later on in his life, I went back to baking and stuff like that. But it took me a while. It took me a minute to get back to that. So what I would tell my younger self would be to just do what I think, because I think I worried too much about what other people thought at that particular time in my life. And at 20, 21, 22, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I did, but I'm listening to other people. Oh, well, I see you doing so and so and such and such, and I'm like, well, maybe I should, because I do like to do A, B, C, and D. And then I went ahead and tried to do it, and then really wasn't happy with it, and then thought, well, I guess I got to stay in this field. I don't have no choice. But I tried to do IT at a time when they were barely letting women in, period, let alone black women. So I guess that's the only thing. Anything else, it's too long. Too deep. I don't want to go deep.
Sometimes deep is good though, Trace. That's when the healing starts.
Yeah, well, I haven't even thought about it, so I'm not even gonna get deep. But I know it's deep, so I'm not going there. My other me, the other me's.
The other me's, the 30-year-old me,
The 30-year-old me, the 40-year-old me, the 50-year-old me. They're all different people. Because I was at different points in my life, so they're all different people. And I'm not the person I was at 20. I'm not her. I'm not the person I was at 30. I'm not her. I'm not the person I was at 40. Because at each decade, I had to change for some reason. Something changed, and I had to change.
Something out of your control, or something internal?
Both.
So something external made you change internally? Okay. I can dig it. I can understand that. T?
Deep stuff over here. Well, I was thinking while they was talking, because I was stuck where Tracy was at for about 10 seconds or more. But a couple things I would tell my younger self, and I'm not sure what age, maybe my whole life, whenever she could comprehend, I could say, is just learn how to not be a people pleaser. I think my people pleasing characteristics stopped me from being everything I wanted to be as a kid, and also into my adulthood. I'm second to everyone else. I've always put someone or something or some activity, project, whatever it is, ahead of maybe what I wanted to do, and may not even have known what I wanted to do. So I latch on to someone else's, gift or issue or problem or project or whatever, and execute it that way, and that made me feel amazing. But people pleasing, and even the little things like having little boyfriends or so, and I dated the little thuggy dudes and the little dudes that don't know this and know just as much as me or less, and they listen to certain music. I like all types of music, and I've always liked all types of music. Country, Q102s, Power 99s. You might not know those stations, but those are local to where we are. But they play R&B, rap, all genres, neo, folk, Latin, musicals, whatever. I'm very, very open and eclectic that way, but I conformed. I'm a sponge. I conformed. I got rid of that stuff because that's not the cool stuff. That's not what my boyfriend listened to in the car. So if I turn on Q102, his face like, well, what the heck is this? And I go, what? And it be, oh my God. So we turn to, so it's always this pleasing. So I never got a chance to even open and understand my love for different things because I'm so busy falling back and pleasing someone else's process. And I think I would tell my younger self to be myself.
Okay.
You know, there was a lot of situations where unconsciously I'm just moving robotic, not even understanding my space in the space, my presence in that space. And that's deep for me. But I think, yeah, if I had to open up this can of worms, I'd tell the hers to be yourself, you know, and not do. And I think that I really honed into that concept at probably, and I'm telling all my damn business.
I usually do.
Probably around, I think it was 17, 18 years old. There was a maybe baby in the process, and it was all about that guy. You know, that guy had a daughter that he lost. She was about 4 years old, and she passed at the hands of the hospital. They made a mistake, so it was a malpractice. They gave her a double dosage of medicine on accident because her name and another kid's name that was about 7 years older than her were on the same floor.
So the bracelet check.
That's probably why it's so, well, not that particular story, but stories like
why
that.
They implemented
why they're
that
so
system.
right, exactly. So there was a malpractice issue with that, and she passed. And they again went through lawsuits in court and all that. And this guy, you know, he got money. So side story, but because of that loss, I felt like I needed to do, you know, I'm his girlfriend. We were together, good guy, and you know, in that process, this maybe baby, you know, was in the, and it's like, I wasn't ready for a baby, you know, but I was in it to win it, you know. I'm trying to explain to my father that was not having it, you know, school, and he's like, are you kidding? You know, we went through all of that, but I say all this to say that the pleasing piece in me could have changed the trajectory of my whole life. And it wasn't that my dad talked to, he was purple, y'all. I don't know what color that is in the crayon box, but it's a color, because he had that color every so often with me, because I don't listen all the time. So he would, you know, thank God for the dad, but my dad wanted better. He knew that I would make it. But this life that he wanted for me wasn't about making it, and it spilled into me and my wants. I didn't want to just, I knew I was strong enough to make it. What I wanted to do was better than that. I wanted to exceed. I had lots of dreams and hopes. So baby was not in it. But in the midst of that pleasing about me, I was willing to forego those thoughts, because I would still make it with this maybe baby, but it's gonna be tough. Who knows how tough, because nobody knows past your moment. But hindsight, looking back, sheesh, Lord, was all over me, and that wasn't my life. But it took lots of talking from dad, lots of coming to, I was in school, I was in college, so he coming down to Virginia State, and was like, for real though? For real though? Like, for real though? And I'm like, Daddy, and he was, oh child, was emotional. And at the same time, I broke this dude's heart, so to speak, because it was a space that I just could not. And what really sealed the deal is when I had to find out, I had to ask, right? And had he said the wrong thing, because I'm saying today it would have been the wrong thing because it wasn't truth, but he said it's truth. And I asked, you know, why are we getting married? And why are we having this baby? Like, what's, you know, you proposed, like, what would that, why? And he said, not because I love you, not because I want to build a life with you, but because you're having a baby. Oh, just the baby, huh? You know, so if we lost the baby, what do we have now? You know, what foundation do we have at that point? So child divorce was looking real likely in the future. So I thought, so finally was able to open up at that age and pull out, be myself. What's my life gonna look like versus doing something for someone else's life? Child, don't do things like that. So that was definitely stressful, but it was such an eye opener. And I still struggled with it, but it made itself so aware. And I always go back to that story because it's such a huge reminder of me not doing something for someone else that changes my whole life. And yeah, that's as deep as I can give y'all. That was way too much of my
the mature T can reflect on that, and you can still understand the mindset of that 18-year-old girl.
Yes, child.
I know my
especially battling a dad that I had. Like my dad was cockeyed. I mean, you know how the dog, when you talk to your dog or your dog sees something cockeyed and they be like, what? The dog be like, ah. My dad was like, whose child is this? You know, and I was just like crying, but I was dead set on this is the plan. I love him. We are and he was like, huh? And I was just and then it wasn't until my dad just would not stop. And I'm looking around me. You know, my peers are going to the Kappa parties, and my ass is getting bigger, and my pants don't close, and I can't focus, and my boyfriend calling me from that. He trying to figure out what I'm doing. And, well, I'm in Virginia at an HBCU. Girl, and I'm over here about to have a whole life. No. So that was eating at me, my daddy, and it got me out of my fantasy because I'm in love with love, child. Love, and the love, and the love, and the loves. Ooh, child, love kick. Y'all better
especially
wake
that
up.
young 18, 17-year-old. You think you just in love.
Love.
I need to go back and talk to her too.
Child.
Girl, let that shit go. Girl,
Love
you ain't even like his ass in 5 years.
Yeah, right.
You don't even remember his name.
And we telling you young ladies out there today, listen, been there, done that. Not gonna challenge what you feel today, but definitely will challenge you to dig for yourself. Is this what you believe wholeheartedly? And believe me, when I dug, surfacely, I was in. That's what I was. But when I began to think of life, my life, and the things that I've always wanted, this wasn't in there. That wasn't in the plan. No guy, there wasn't even no dude. So when the heck did this happen? So it wasn't until I had to bite my own bullet and break down. My that's when it was an epiphany. I should say. So my younger self, be you, boo, and don't worry about what others think in that moment of you taking care of you first. You know, selfish. So I still work on that. If you've seen some of our other episodes, we talk about selfish, me struggling with that anyway. But I still today, I'm better at it, but still I have to consciously think about myself first. Right.
I know my friend Crystal, his daughter is 24, and she came by the house, and we were sitting there talking, and something she said struck to me. She said, I wish older women would talk to us about, and that's missing, because when I was younger, you know, all my aunts and older, because my cousins are a lot older than her, and I would sit down and listen to older women tell stories, although they didn't tell me about these damn babies and how to raise, but
they tell you what they would.
Yeah, they would. But they would tell stories and different things. That's how when I graduated from high school at 18, I knew how to cook. I knew how to run a household. I knew what a bank account was. I knew all how to do all these things. These young girls don't. And you know, we want to think.
That's true.
We want to think that they don't want to live, but maybe we
ain't talking to them. Yeah, we're not talking to them.
We're not talking, because she's 24. She's like, nobody talk to me. I mean, she has a mother and everything, but when she said that, it just struck me like, okay, we got to take some responsibility, because if I have all this experience and wisdom, well, what good is it? Right. If I'm not sending it down to help, or nothing. So that's a challenge I want to give. Go ahead, T. I'm sorry.
Well, no, you will hear in some of these topics that we have about the challenges that Fee and I especially have had with our growing up, the parents, the mother in our lives. And again, this is not everybody's story and not everybody's situation, but we do see a lot of young women being raised by inefficient women. And I mean, you gotta call a spade and a duck a duck, and all the other animals what they are. And if you don't have this queen that birthed you or a queen that can give you life, speak it into your existence and tell you what it is, the realness of being a woman. I had role models around me. Although my mom, again, I don't speak negatively about what she taught because there was great lessons there, but there were other lessons that she just didn't know and she couldn't teach it to me. So I learned them from other queens in my family or in my space or even mentors. But for one of a great mentor was my aunt. You know, she taught me how to sit like a lady and eat food if I'm on a date. You know, just the cutesy stuff. And believe it or not, I'm full-time boy growing up. I am baggy jeans, sneakers, you know, t-shirt all day. This glamour you see today is sponsored by Mr. Tony Pitts, the current husband, the only husband, the one and only. He is the one that has sponsored eyelashes, rinse black hair, you know. Anyway, but that queen, we need her.
Definitely.
We need Big Mama. We need Big Mama.
Hell, and Big Mama is 26 now. Big Mama 32. How the hell you can be Big Mama at 32?
Lord Jesus. And I think I had a little bit of Big Mama. I think this generation at this table has had Big Mamas. Yeah. And we say that meaning just cut from a different cloth. Yeah. Just having, you know, a lot of the parenting today is different. You know, it's just different. And what our younger selves are learning, we're seeing these young women, the residual of it. We're seeing the residual of what is missing. So although you got, you know, your mamas are not doing and breathing into you, then we got dad problems. Then we got the man issues. You know what I mean? You're not understanding that first love, your father, you know, missing out of the homes. And again, this is not a shot at everyone situation, but it is definitely addressing some of the situations we experience and we've seen. So not to offend anybody, but we want to address our young women because we're addressing in this topic. What would we be saying to our younger selves? Well, you are the younger self. You know, you are younger. Those of you that are younger, you know, you are our younger selves. And what we are saying is what we would be saying to ourselves that we would say to you. You know, we want to share, you know, 2 T's in the feed, like I told you before. If you've seen some of the other videos, check them out. But we talk about this self-love and this self-growth and this mindset. And that's what you're going to get here. We're not going to be popping it like it's hot. We're going to talk about how popping it like it's hot ain't all.
My younger self, that helper that I was telling you about, she probably was doing that. Now,
we're going to put popping like it's hot in context. But overall, we just want to give back. Yeah. You know, and this is what this is about. We're giving back to even our younger selves.
Yes. So I want to challenge the ladies that are seasoned as we are.
Yes.
Find a young girl. Yeah. Find something to give back. Yeah. And for you younger women, send us some questions.
Yes. Talk to us. Tell us. Maybe we need to know what you don't know, or maybe what you're curious about. Right. And it can be from the rooter to the tutor. It doesn't have to necessarily be on this particular topic, but I think this topic has extensions and arms in terms of self and talking to your younger self. You have a younger self. You've gone through some things, and you might want to make some adjustments as you go through this this path. You know?
And it's funny, we haven't hit on it, although it could be another arm or extension. We haven't talked about childhood trauma. We're just talking about really young adulthood.
Yeah, young adulthood.
And the different things. Because childhood trauma, we don't have enough time in the day.
Ooh, that's part 1 through 4.
But we're mostly talking
and
about.
And we all have worked in this field, so we have a good space to talk about it, and we are women. Yes, and I've been your age. And then for our seasoned women, like Fee said, please, tap into a younger lady. If it's not your daughter, then your niece. If it's not your niece, then your friend's daughter. If it's not your friend's daughter, the girl that you've seen on the bus stop or going, to school or to work, or just be be open to these young women that we see. And again, it's all about how you approach.
Yes.
And your context in the approach.
Yes.
It could be simply, I just want to, pay for something for you today. And that can start and spark a conversation. Even in your network with other like-minded women such as yourself and connect younger women to seasoned women. Like Fee has connected me to a young woman that I'm working with right now. I think it's amazing. And not working with because there's problems, but working with because I got something to share and she got something to gain. And if I know something, why wouldn't I share something? Right. To make it her path easier, better, or connect her with the people that she needs to move forward. If we did that for one another, if someone did that for us and our younger selves on a consistent basis, we'd have more things to add to the plate.
Yes.
And again, I'm not mad at my younger self. I think my younger self has created my older self.
Okay.
But I think that, again, to the topic, there's always something that you could listen to.
Yeah.
You could hear.
You all right, Trace?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
So, Trey, you got anything else to add? I'm a little sad on this damn polo. Did I say polo?
We're not on polo.
Sorry.
We so not on polo.
Hey, polo! We always talk on polo. We talk on polo all day. If y'all don't know about polo, we're going to put that down in the comments. But Tracy kind of quiet on this here chat we got going on.
Well, sometimes stuff hits you.
It digs you.
You don't realize it. Then when you start talking about it, you can feel.
Yeah, it wasn't until you guys started talking that I was jotting, child. I'm getting older, got to jot down your thoughts. So I jot down like, tell myself. I told y'all I didn't know for about 10 minutes. I'm trying to figure out, because when you got ADD, we're going to talk about that. You got to hone in to your stuff. Like, what is this ADD? This adult ADD is real. And I ain't no mess, so I got to manage it myself. So I had to jot down, and like you said, you get to hearing, you get to talking, and when you start to dig, I'm all about healing. I don't propose to hide anything from my viewership, but I give it to y'all in pieces. Y'all just getting to know me, just getting to, this is first, second date, maybe our fourth date, something like that. But I'll share, at even outside of my comfortability levels too. But I won't give you too much at one time. But
I usually do.
I'm amazing at this topic. This was a good topic.
I usually do, because I think that I've learned there's nothing new under the sun.
No.
Everything that is a cycle. Life goes things. So, sometimes some of the stuff that I've gone through, because, I dealt with a lot of criminal justice system, juvenile justice system, and people that are really broken. And I've learned that the more transparent and open I am, the more they are.
Yeah.
And that's
you help people with that.
And that's when the healing starts.
Yes.
That's when the healing starts.
Everybody wants to make sure that they're safe when they start to open up too. So please, hopefully you feel safe in this space, and we again encourage you to like, subscribe, send us comments, please send us questions, share. Also, you can reach us at questions at 2 T's and a fee, 1 E. I was all ready before I was ready.
F-E.
Yes. Send us.
I know the alphabet. That's all I know.
Send us questions, and share. If you're still hanging with us through this video, we don't want to make it too long, but we thank you very much for hanging out with us on this particular episode.
Please comment on this one. I would like to hear how the young women,
and the seasoned women. If there's some seasoned women that got a couple questions, please by all means.
Or just want to get your story out. Sometimes telling the story is healing.
Yeah.
Safe zone. The healing can begin.
Safe zone.
And don't beat yourself up for things you didn't know then that you know now. Because remember, you didn't know it.
That's important.
You were young, inexperienced.
And we do that a lot. We beat ourselves up.
That's why the question I asked: Are you mad at that younger girl?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the decisions she made. So we all make mistakes.
Learn. If we didn't make mistakes, we can't be great. Gotta make mistakes in order to be great.
You do.
If you do everything right, where is the lesson, chat? And on that note, we
are out.